Do you think that Zay Flowers is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL right now? Because in my opinion, I would say no. I can name you 10. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Nico Collins, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams. I think that's absolutely outrageous. Cale Bridges is getting ready to break the all-time NBA record for most starts consecutively, and the coach is like, nah, you're benched today. I swear to God, I would fight him. Think about how many games he's played already and how many more consecutive games he's going to have to play in order to hit that number one spot. You're coming up on that, and the coach tells you not starting tonight. I tell you, fuck you, yes, I am. I'm Camden from Fort Worth, Texas.
And I'm Mitch from Westfield, New Jersey.
And this is Big Apple Benches and Bleachers,
a father-son sports podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Benches and Bleachers. I'm Camden from Fort Worth,
I'm
Texas.
Mitch, and I'm Mitch in New Jersey, and it is getting to be football season.
Both sides. We got IU. I'm wearing my new Ariat Game Day Collection hat. You're wearing your IU football sweatshirt, so we're rocking that. And we got New York Giants. We got one more game preseason against
Snoopy Bowl.
The New York Stinks. And, then we go on for the regular season. So hopefully
start rolling.
The Giants are looking good, but we're very excited because it just means that another good season of good sports is in.
So we were at dinner last night with you, me, Mom, and your sister Leighton.
Yeah, not me.
And Leighton says, Dad, I think I want to watch football on Sundays with you this year.
Woohoo!
And I go, really? She goes, yeah, it just doesn't seem like it's fall without football. And I said, oh, I got another football buddy because Aylin's in Arizona and you're in Texas.
We love that.
So, yeah.
I'll have to
I guess she's going to start watching football.
I think I have my Super Bowl Eli jersey somewhere. Maybe I'll find it and give it to her because she'd love that.
I got an Eli jersey. I got an Eli jersey and an Amani Toomer jersey. Yeah.
Oh,
I got the white Super Bowl one. Yeah.
Man.
It's getting worn, though. The Amani jersey's kind of wearing through.
That was such a great season. I remember I was in middle school.
Yes, it was.
Tell the viewers. I was in middle school, and you showed up to the office. They paged me down to the main office and said, Camden, your dad
had a doctor's appointment. There was like
no
5
idea
other dads picking their kids up. There were like 5 other dads picking up their kids the same reason.
You're wearing your suit. I don't know what's going on. We get in the car. I'm like, where are we going? You open your shirt, and under it is the Eli Manning Super Bowl jersey. And I was like, what? And you were like, look in the back seat. We're going to the championship parade. And there was a matching jersey for me in the back seat.
And remember we went with Ron Shevlin and his kid? I hadn't seen Ron in a long time. And about 2 weeks ago, he had a networking event at his mattress factory. And I was like, Ron.
We saw him at Spring Fling.
But I hadn't really got to talk to him. That was just passing by. This is at his place. So, and I just got this great pillow from Storm 1.0. It's awesome. I'm sleeping really well. It's like $100 pillow or something. But so I said, remember we went to the Giants. It wasn't really a parade. It was like a fan day at the stadium.
But
he's like, oh yeah, that was fun.
We did Fan Day different, separate. We could talk about that in a second. But it was like, it wasn't a parade because there wasn't a parade route, but it was like a homecoming celebration.
Yeah, it was in the stadium.
After we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because the Giants don't really like play in New York. It's not like the Knicks. No. They don't have a parade. And so they're like a New Jersey team almost. Yeah.
I was going to say, and also like, there's a big divide of people who in New York who are Giants fans or Jets fans. And there are a lot of people in New York who hate both teams.
Yeah.
And like Lance, he's like, fuck the Giants. Eli Manning looks like a dumbass all the time.
What is he, a Dallas fan?
No, Lance is a Saints fan.
I know people that are Pittsburgh fans and Dallas fans, and I mean we're a melting pot in New York. But you know what?
So New York City is everyone is a Knicks fan. That is why the city was a special experience.
That is true. The city was on fire during the playoffs.
I saw a reel the other day, and it was like, Grandpa, what was New York City like in 2026? And he was like, the same it is now. And he was like, really? Like in June? And then he like reminisces back and he's like, oh my God, June 2026 was like the best month that New York City ever saw. Everyone was happy, friendly to each other, going out of your way to do nice things. There's amazing stuff going on.
Yeah, it was fun.
The city was like united, and it's true. Hopefully we don't have to wait another 53 years to see unison like that again. But
well, we waited like 54 years for the Rangers, and I think we're still waiting now.
Well, yeah, but the Rangers don't have Jalen Brunson at the helm.
Right,
so
that's true.
If we can make something happen again.
JB's the man. Yeah.
He is the man.
All right, so you want to get into some preseason, what's been going on? Because you and I have been talking about it, and there's been some interesting things. I know a lot of people say preseason is really just workout. It doesn't really matter, but
yeah. You have anything else you want to like catch up on? It's been a good week. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you have some.
Not really. No, not really. We got Mom's coming to visit on Thursday. She's going to be out in Texas.
I'm excited.
And then we'll talk about it when she's back.
She's not ready for the heat.
Yeah, it's very hot. How hot was it there today?
I think my car said 113 on the way home with the AC blasting.
It's been really nice here, like 80s, not too humid. It's all gone.
I left for work this morning. It was 89 degrees. I was like, hot damn, I could drive with the windows down. And by the time I leave for lunch with Dustin, it's 110 degrees. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, that's because you're leaving at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 7:30. But I was
understandable.
I gave Dustin my 3D printer.
Okay. Did he make something for you?
For those who don't know, Dustin is my coworker. Super nice guy. And I gave him my 3D printer. And it's old. It doesn't run very well.
It's been sitting in the basement a long time.
He did a lot of tinkering, got it to print half decent, and then he was like, fuck this. I'm going to buy a nice new printer. This printer's got like a time-lapse camera in it. It takes 4 different type color filaments so you can switch mid
at one time.
Yeah. Like it's amazing. So he printed me 2 things. Let me grab one of them. Hold on.
Okay. So basically me spending money shipping this to Cam was kind of a waste, but that's okay. Got it out of my basement.
Wait, say that again?
I said, I guess shipping the 3D printer to you was kind of a waste, but at least I got it out of my basement.
Well, yeah, I just figured like it's going to sit there and you're not going to use it. But you know what, Dad? It was not a waste because now he's into 3D printing, and probably around Black Friday, I'm going to buy one of those for myself. The quality is like outrageous. So he made me some coasters. Look at these. He was like, oh, you have the Western apartment. So there's a cowboy.
Nice. What does that mean? What is that, brown?
It's brown with black on the top layer, and then he put cork on the bottom. There's the cowboy riding the horse.
Nice.
Cowgirl.
Okay.
And a cowgirl riding a horse. And
wow.
A set of 4 coasters.
Nice.
Okay, and he put the cork on the back. But then he came in today, and he was like, Camden, I made you something sick. This is way cooler than that. Okay, it's like a foot by a foot almost. Maybe like 10 by 10.
Yeah.
Look at this.
That's 3D printed?
Yes, it is 3D printed. I mean,
but it's thin. It's thin?
Yeah.
But wow, that is awesome.
Tell me this is not so cool looking.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Honestly,
looking.
It shows up better on the camera.
And can you feel it? Is it like plastic?
Yeah, it's textured. 100%. Like here, if I like bring it close to the camera, you can kind of see like the texture.
Oh, yeah.
That's what gives it depth. So like once and you know what's cool is because his printer is a new one, it has a heated bed, so the stuff comes out where the back looks like this, like there's no lines, it's just smooth.
Right.
So like I think what I'm gonna do is try and once I get a printer, I'm gonna try and make a bunch of these because this is nuts, and then I'm gonna put them up in the office.
Nice.
But yeah, Dustin was like, dude, look what I made you, and I was like, are you kidding? This thing is epic. He made one frame, of one. It's a split, and one side is He-Man, and the other side is Skeletor. For Eric, Eric likes He-Man. So, yeah. So, and you know what? I brought them in today. I found all my Matchbox cars. For those who don't know, I am a collector of all kinds.
Or used to be, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm a collector of all kinds.
That's true. You are a collector of all kinds.
I like wristwatches. I like Legos. Here's a I mean, I'm unpacking everything, so all my stuff's out right now.
Right.
But
when you were young, you used to collect Avon bottles. You used to collect.
Oh, I used to collect Avon bottles. Well, my parents claimed they didn't send them to me, but I got 150 of those in my apartment that I got.
Anybody's listening? They're up for sale. So reach out to Camden.
I put a few in my bathroom, the guest bathroom. You'll like them. But what I was going to say was during COVID, I started buying 60s and 70s Matchbox cars, and I would drill out the rivets, thread screw holes, and then put in little Allen key screws and repaint them and restore them. You know this. And I did it in the garage. It was my way of getting out of the house during COVID when I wasn't allowed to see friends and I didn't want to be around you guys all the time. So I locked myself in the garage and I started to restore Matchbox cars. While I was going through the bin, I made a giant bin for Dustin's son. So that way he has, some Hot Wheels to play with.
Right. But those are unopened you gave him, right?
Some of them. And some of them are just loose, basic Hot Wheels.
Okay.
And then in the process, I found a bunch of the ones that I restored. So I brought one for Dustin and one for Eric to put on their desks, and they were both like, "Dude, this is so cool!" So that was cool. We're like kind of exchanging little things. So
all older grown men, we're all included in that category, like little miniature cars.
I saw Dustin showed me a thing today, and it was like, "Dad, why do you work?" And it's like, "So I can have cool toys, son." And he's like, "But I don't have any cool toys." And then it pans out and it shows the dad on a speed motorcycle and it says, "Right, but I do." And that's, the difference between boys and men is the price of the toys.
But if you go to a man and you give him a little Matchbox car, he loves it.
Oh, yeah.
Even if he doesn't collect them.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
bottle of whiskey.
So funny.
Something. You give someone something that is meaningful and they like those things. So, this Spider-Man thing took Dustin, a couple of hours to print and probably 20 cents worth of materials, maybe 40. But it's sick. And, when we were playing pickleball on Friday night, he said, "Oh, you got to wait a little bit once we get home. I'm making you something." And I was like,
"Oh, so it was being made while you were out playing pickleball?"
Well, where's the one second, and then we can go into sports because we
got to get into sports. Yep.
So it was originally a different design, and it didn't slice right and fill right. So the colors aren't exactly perfect. See, it's a different Spider-Man.
That was the test one?
This was the one he was originally doing on my birthday, and then he was like, "Oh, okay, take that home. I'm going to work on V2." And this one's way cooler.
Yeah, much cooler.
It's so sick.
Crazy.
Yeah, all right. So, sports.
Right. Yeah, if we're going to talk about preseason, though, we got to start with the Giants, right?
Please.
Okay, let's definitely start with them.
You want to start with that?
Did you probably didn't get the game, though, on the weekend, right? You can't get it out in Fort Worth because it's just a local game?
Correct.
We played Miami.
Yeah, we clobbered them.
We looked – look, I know Miami's not that good anyway, but, yeah, we definitely dominated them. We really looked good behind the ball. Jameis Winston was really, really impressive.
That doesn't
He's throwing the ball well. He ran for a touchdown.
Shit, because you know what? He won all 3 of our preseason games last season, and he played absolutely atrocious during the regular season.
Yeah, he also won the Heisman and won a national championship and almost won 2 in a row. The only game they lost in his college career was maybe it wasn't the championship, second of the championship, I think, to Oregon.
But Dad,
and he didn't do anything in the pros.
He was about James.
He was a gunslinger.
Okay, this is what I'll say. I think that Florida State had a really strong team at the time, and we hope that in the next 1 to 2 years, we will be able to come back around and say Florida State's a powerhouse again.
Yeah, no question about it. We want them to come back.
But
we're pulling for Mike Norvell, but I am skeptical. Go ahead.
They had so many talents on that team.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't just Jameis, and if it was just Jameis, they wouldn't have won that shit. He won the Heisman because he had receivers that made him look good.
Yeah, but in college, he had an arm. He could hit these guys where he needed to. Look, a lot of being a good quarterback is putting the ball where it needs to be. And, yeah, it's then up to the receiver, right, to be there and to pull that ball down. There's no question about it. In the preseason game, you didn't see it, but there was this – they were driving and Jameis hit OBJ in the back of the end zone. That ball should have been caught. It was money. Drop the ball. So – It definitely takes both, right? So Jameis is a good player. He doesn't have the personnel. He's not going to be the player that you want it to be. But you go to the pros, I mean, they weren't terrible. Tampa Bay had weapons. People, if you're a good quarterback and you're able to put the ball there, most receivers in the NFL who are first string, starters, should be pulling those balls down. I'm not saying they're miracle workers
all the time, right?
That's how I feel about it.
Like, I used to think that Indiana could maybe win against the worst team in the NFL. They couldn't. No way, because
it's all a different level of play.
Are battle tested,
right.
And even the worst team in the league, those guys are the best players in the world.
Yeah, and they could beat anybody any given day, and you've seen it happen. But my point is that look, and we're going to get into Vegas a little bit, but take Fernando Mendoza, who I've said has the highest football IQ I've ever met out of a young player like that. Mm-hmm. You and I both said off the mic, if Tom Brady was playing at that level when he was a freshman rookie, he might have won another 5 Super Bowls. So
correct.
That's impressive, but he can put the ball where it needs to be, and the receiver doesn't have to be a superstar to pull the ball down if it's in the right place. And there were some passes that you saw during the Las Vegas game, that his throws were just in the right place where the defender couldn't get it and the receiver could, and they connected. So a lot of that has to do with, how good you are. And in college, I thought Jameis really could throw the ball. I mean, he could sling it out, and he was very accurate. I don't know if it was just a big stage for him or whatever, but he did not shine in the pros. Now, he loves being in New York. He's a perfect backup. We know in the position we are that if Jackson goes down or he has a head injury and he's got to be out for a couple of plays, Jameis can step right in and play. Russell Wilson has not been able to do that.
No, Russell Wilson was much worse.
I didn't even see him. Is he still on the team?
No, he got cut.
Yeah. So they only gave him a 1 or 2 contract year anyway. But
Fernando, did you see what he posted on his LinkedIn after the game?
I did, but for the people listening, he's funny.
He is such a character, that kid.
Yeah. Unlike Deshaun Watson, who doesn't own shit when it comes to playing bad.
Here, it says, tonight I had the opportunity to make my first NFL start with the Las Vegas Raiders. Unfortunately, one of my passes was intercepted by Wade Woodaz and returned 80 yards for a touchdown. So here's what throwing my first NFL pick 6 taught me about B2B sales. And then it says, kidding, ... Kinda. Number 1, know your customer. Delivering to the wrong person creates value for your competition. Number 2, accept feedback. Sometimes it comes from a coach. Other times it runs 80 yards in the opposite direction. Number 3, follow through. Even after a mistake, you have to chase the problem you created. Grateful for the opportunity to learn and grow alongside my teammates. Now back to work. And
that is why he is going to be a champion. He already was.
Funny.
Because you know what? Indiana benefited from it. He developed through high school. Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted him. He developed at Cal. Signetti saw something in him, also had his brother, so that's how they got introduced. And then he just blossomed and bloomed when he was in Indiana. But he's still at that level. It's impressive. And the funny thing is he's on LinkedIn, so that's a business B2B website.
Well, what's funny is that
he's equating it to business.
Set up a whole partnership with him after we won the Natty. That he is an official.
Yeah, no, I know that. LinkedIn. He's an official Yeah.
So that's why he's doing those things, because he wants to. It's probably part of the partnership. They're like, listen, as you continue to do things, NFL, good or bad, post about him on LinkedIn. And then he's like, all right, fuck it. What am I going to do?
Yeah. Speaking of the Natty, when we get started first week, when the season gets going, college game day, whatever, we're going to share some of the stuff that we experienced 100%. When we were in Miami. But let's get a little bit back to the Giants, because I want to talk a little bit about Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone was our RB1 last year, right?
I mean, yeah, and then Scat kind of stepped up, and then after.
Yeah, but Scat's Scat's a bulldog, right? Correct. So he's a short yardage guy. I mean, he could run. Correct. Don't get me wrong, but he carries 4 or 5 guys on his back. Yeah,
Tyrone.
He's a short yardage
guy you use on first and second down. I mean, and then Scat
short yardage. You got to get a first down. You want to get in the end zone.
You want that motherfucker to hit the wall and go straight through it.
Right, but in the and now I know it's still preseason, but Tracy's dropped several balls, and some of them have been. I think one of them was a costly fumble in this game.
Well, this is what I'll say. Okay,
got some cobwebs in there as far as I'm concerned.
Let's rewind a few. steps. Okay. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I did that whole little segment where we talked about the article from maybe it was G-Men HQ or something like that, where we were talking about responses to preseason practice that they had in, where was it?
A bit of the Athletic.
I don't know who it was. It was no, it wasn't the Athletic. It was a Giants page.
Newsletter? Okay.
And one of the things that they were saying is that a lot of the older players, not older, but players that have been on the team longer, are struggling to adapt to the new system. And that's not something we should be worried about necessarily. I just think it's something that's natural when you have a whole new coaching staff. Like John Harbaugh is flipping everything on its head, which is great.
There's no question about it. Right.
It's great. But like they said, Jackson Dart had a rough start. And hopefully that doesn't apply for the regular season, but you never know. So I don't think that necessarily Tracy's performance now says anything about his ability. We've seen in the past how good he is. I think that like when you have a new coach and a new system, there's more room to like grow positively than there is to grow negatively, because if you don't do well in the new system at first, it's expected. Like you need training wheels. But if you're someone like, who the fuck were we just talking about?
OBJ?
Who I hate last week, the cornerback that played really, really well, Deonte Banks.
Oh, yeah.
The last 4 seasons, he's been one of the worst starting cornerbacks in the league. Okay, so much so that we overpaid the fuck out of Paulson Adebo before last season, so that we would have someone. He's not even that good. Okay,
right.
Paulson. During these practices, he ran the table. Apparently, Paulson Adebo had like 10% of the minutes, and the rest of them were for him. And
well, they're working him out. I understand that, but you got to remember, he's also covering guys that are not as good as will be during the regular season.
It's not about working him out. It's about the fact that he was making all the plays that they wanted him to make, and Paulson Adebo wasn't. So hopefully, maybe we'll see something good out of him this year. But that's been something that I've been frustrated with.
I mean, look, I don't feel completely about. I don't agree with completely everything you're saying. I look at a new coach like Harbaugh, definitely comes in with a new system, right? That's going to cause people to have to learn new plays and be in the right place at the right time. And then you get passes, maybe with Jackson, he's not executing well. But when you're talking about running backs, unless it's like handoffs that are in the wrong place or whatever, you got to mind the football. I don't care what the plays are. And Tracy is not a rookie. So he's not as experienced as Singletary. He's not as experienced as who's the new guy in town, Najee Harris, right?
Najee Harris.
But he was our RB1 last year, and he should be holding on to that ball. So I don't know what you do with that and how you how the coaches feel. But I guess we'll see. Look, when the rubber meets the road, it's game one, and they start playing, and the real guys are in, and then you got to mind your football. So. Hopefully gets
I will say, I'm liking the fact that John Harbaugh is using the vet tech. We're getting all these old dogs. I'm liking that. So let's hope that, Juju and OBJ and, Najee Harris, they can play well, because I think the Giants are putting together a mean roster if they all mesh the way we think they are.
There's no question about it. A guy like John Harbaugh wants to bring in some veteran guys to work with the younger guys to build a team. Mm-hmm. When you're in New York in a marketplace like this, you don't get 3 to 5 years to build a team. You lose your job that way. We've gone through coaches a lot in the last several years.
The way that it works is if
start producing in the first, second year.
I was going to say the way that it works in New York is if you are not making something positive by year 2 or 3, they're already talking about getting rid of you. I mean, look, even sometimes.
And let me tell you something. What's his name? Mara is very slow to make moves. I mean, he kept Brian Dable probably a year or 2 longer than he should have.
I know, and I will say, like, even so, we are so tough on our coaches in New York. Look at Tibbs.
Fans are.
Look at Tibbs.
Yeah,
the Knicks just made the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in what. 20
but he left
years,
and they won the championship.
And we won with Mike Brown. So
I know.
It's interesting. I think it will be interesting to see how it pans out, because you know, I would love to say that this season we're going to see, remarkable Giants football, but I don't see it playing out that way, unfortunately.
I think we're going to see exciting Giants football. I think that if they can do well in the first 4 to 6 games, I think they'll get some momentum going into the second half of the season. I think the problem in past years has been we're starting from behind the 8 ball by game 6 or 7. We got no wins, no confidence. These guys are probably all pissed in the locker room, and it gets really difficult. I think having a veteran like Harbaugh really changes things because I think even the veteran players respect him. I don't know if they had a lot of respect for Dable.
Why would they?
And Joe Shane's lucky he kept his job. I'm surprised, but that's what I mean by Mara doesn't really make a lot of moves.
But I see why. As much as I agree that Mara is very slow to fire people, I see why we kept Shane, and I'll tell you why. It's because if you look at the way we've been drafting for the last about 3 seasons, we're doing. Yeah,
he's
great
drafted
things.
pretty well.
Yeah, we got
especially
Neighbors,
last year. He
Dart,
drafted well.
I mean, Neighbors was the year before. Then we got Dart, Scat. Who else did we get?
That was a good class.
And then this year we did even better.
We got Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
This year we got Arvell Reese.
Then we got Arvell Reese. We got Francis Mauigoa. We got fucking Colton Hood. We got they did really well. So I see why they're keeping Joe Shane, even though he is responsible for the end of Barkley. But I will say you can also kind of pin that on Ben McAdoo because McAdoo was the one that signed the contract with Daniel Schmoens. And that is the reason
he's the one who bet. He's the one who broke Eli's record of starts.
I know.
Schmuck.
I know.
By the way, he never coached again. I don't think. I don't think he was ever.
Dad, imagine if at the end of his career, Mikal Bridges is getting ready to break the all-time NBA record for most starts consecutively, and the coach is like, "Nah, you're benched today."
Right.
I would fight him. I swear to God, I would fight him if I was Mikal. You think about how many games he's played already and how many more consecutive games he's going to have to play in order to hit that number 1 spot. You're coming up on that, and the coach tells you, nah, you're not starting tonight. I tell you, fuck you, yes, I am. What are you going to do?
Nope. Everybody started calling him Macadoosh.
And he still is. I mean,
But I mean, historically, we've always had pretty good coaches, but I mean, there's been time. I mean, Joe Judge.
Dad, there was
Mike Judge. No,
Joe Judge.
Mike Judge.
No.
Yeah.
Mike Kafka.
Look it up.
Joe Judge.
Yeah. All right, I bet you it's Mike Judge.
I'll bet you. What are we betting?
I don't know. Something for the Bourbon Trail?
Yeah, sure. No, that's my trip for you. Yeah, Joe Judge was the coach of the New York Giants, as was Mike Kafka. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I'll buy you something on the Bourbon Trail.
No,
could have sworn it was Mike Judge. Hold on a second.
Maybe Coach I'll make you get me some Knicks merch for my display.
Oh, I found it. Oh, there is a Mike Judge. I found him on Coach Mike Judge on X. He's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh my God, that's fucking funny.
Okay. Anyway, he had never coached. I think he was a quarterbacks coach in New England.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
so
you can get me some of that one of those OG tip-in photos for my wall.
Could do that. That would be awesome.
Well, that's
so. You want to talk a little bit about the Jets, even though we don't like the Jets?
No, the Jets will get some time on the podcast next week. Sorry, Rich and Matt and Rob. The Jets will get some time on the podcast after we beat them next week. So thank you.
Yeah, well, the Jets have Geno Smith, so they ain't going to win shit this year.
Right, exactly.
You fucking hate Geno Smith. Well, he was a douchebag in college at West Virginia.
I know.
Yeah, well, also, I did not like him. Maybe
I will
people
say
do.
We're a little biased, right? Like, Mom, we don't like Shadur Sanders because Mom doesn't like Dion because of Florida.
Well, because Dion turned his back on FSU. He says he didn't go there, didn't play.
Of course. Bullshit. The same reason why we don't like what's his name because he went to West Virginia because Rena went to Marshall.
No, I didn't like Geno Smith because he was a douchebag in college. That's why he wasn't a nice guy. He was overconfident. He was cocky. Came to the pros. He was okay. He never really shined. I mean, he had some moments in Seattle. But that was like off the bench. I don't know. And now they got rid of him. And what's his name? Darnold came in. They won the Super Bowl.
You know what?
Let's talk about Cleveland because I think
was just about to say that. What the fuck are they smoking in Cleveland? Did the crack rocks get in off the street into the
Cleveland hasn't been known for a history of good football, but
they are building something decent there. And I guess not really. They just got rid of Myles Garrett, but. Like,
how many years of Myles Garrett have left? I don't know.
Well, they're going to be. We'll get to that.
And let me tell you something. I liked Deshaun Watson when he played for Clemson. I liked him in college. I thought he had potential.
Stud.
But then again, turns out douchebag.
I mean, also
he was accused of doing bad things. I think with his wife or his girlfriend, something like that.
Yep.
Then he didn't play for 2 years because of it. Then he comes to Cleveland, and now this week, I think he made some mistakes. I didn't see the game because all these games are around the country. He's blaming it on other people. I mean, get some fucking ownership. Look at Fernando throws his pick six, right? Plays, by the way, great. One bad throw, and he apologizes for it. Played a great game, by the way. But, I mean, get a fucking life, dude.
I just you know what? And you know what? They're the team of self-absorbed assholes, right? Because they got Shedeur. And they got, their only hope for a nice kid at QB is Dylan Gabriel. I like him.
I like him, but I don't think he has the potential to be a really good NFL quarterback. I didn't say I think
he has the potential to be an NFL quarterback. I said I like him because he's a nice human being.
And he played very well in college, but that doesn't necessarily translate to the pros.
I think
he's short too, isn't he? Short.
Yeah, I think that if one of those three has any chance of doing something with this shitty Browns team, unfortunately, it's Shedeur. He's got the highest ceiling out of those three guys.
Probably, yeah.
He's going to.
That's not saying much, but yeah,
he's going to win the starter by midseason, I would guess.
Yeah, I would think Deshaun's going to screw up, and he'll get the job.
And then they'll give Dylan Gabriel a chance, and then he's going to do half decent, and then Shedeur will take over.
You know the thing about Shedeur, it's a sad story because here's a kid who was overconfident and cocky because of his dad.
Yep.
His dad comes in, he's coaching Colorado, he's playing there, getting all kinds of attention, and as opposed to some of these guys like Jackson Dart, like Fernando Mendoza, who appreciate where they are, want to learn from the older guys, and want to become great quarterbacks, great athletes, and great players of the game. This guy's just so cocky that he just wants everything to shine around him. He wants money, he wants fame, he wants that all. That's the reward from being a good player and doing your job. Right. It's like you go to work and you just want to make money and be successful. Money is a result of success. It's not like what you strive for.
Right. Like,
you know what I mean?
Fernando's like, "Oh, mommy, this award is for you, not for me." And she said,
exactly.
"Give me that shit." Like,
yeah, exactly. Good point.
It's like Diego Pavia. I mean, not Diego Pavia. Yeah, Diego.
Yeah, he's
Pavia.
gone.
Piece of shit, right? He was like, "Oh, fuck those Heisman."
Wasn't he on the Raiders?
No,
I thought he was a backup on the Raiders. Where did he end up?
I thought he wasn't drafted.
No. I think he
Diego
signed.
Pavia. Here he was in the running for the Heisman. He barely gets any votes, and then he says, "Fuck the Heisman voters," not realizing that the Heisman voters control the whole fucking NFL. Dumbass.
Right.
Now nobody wanted to draft him. So instead of becoming an NFL quarterback, which I think he was not half bad, he's an idiot. That's how it works, right?
Yeah. So he was undrafted. He was an undrafted free agent, went to the Baltimore Ravens, and they waived him in July.
Probably because he's a douchebag.
That doesn't help. If you're a nice young man and you impress management and you impress the owners, they're going to give you more of a leash to try and work hard. If you just think that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, then you better be the greatest thing since sliced bread, or you get cut.
Did you see how much money the Ravens signed Zay Flowers for?
No, but I saw no.
Do you think that Zay Flowers is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL right now? Because in my opinion, I would say no. I think I can list
at least 10 players that are better than him.
For sure.
How much did they sign him? How much did they sign him for?
Why don't you guess?
I have no idea. You tell me.
It's a 4-year contract. No guess?
I don't know, $100 million.
$140 million over 4 years.
That's more than what's his name on the Seahawks, a cornerback got.
I mean, Dad, here's I can name you 10. You ready?
Yeah.
In no specific order. Jamar Chase.
These are players that are
current
active.
Players. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, as much as we hate him. Okay? George Pickens. We also don't like him. Nico Collins. I mean, A.J. Brown. Devontae Adams. How about Malik Neighbors is better than him. I mean, we could keep going. I think that's absolutely out fucking rageous. Seriously. And Bijan just signed a good contract too. But that
Did
one
he?
I think is deserved. He's the highest paid running back in NFL history. He signed a 3-year, $75 million contract with 66.75 guaranteed.
I don't know if he won, but he was in the lead for the rushing title last year.
I think he didn't win.
No, Bijan Robinson. I don't think he won, but
it was James Cook
running. Yeah, I believe he was.
Bijan was fourth in the running. So James Cook had 1,621 yards. Derrick Henry was 26 behind him with 1,595. Jonathan Taylor, 10 more back, 1,585. And Bijan Robinson was 107 yards back. He was fourth, 14.
Yeah, he was definitely leading some toward the season. It said his annual salary $22.25 million, making him the highest paid running back in NFL history. His deal includes $51 million of guaranteed money.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that there aren't receivers right now that are
want more money.
I'm making a fuckload of money.
Right. Absolutely. There's a lot of money in sports, my friend. A lot of money in sports.
It's crazy.
So what else we got? I know we got quarterback stuff going on, but we'll talk more about that next week as they develop. Why don't we get into college? Because it's already been 30 minutes.
So we'll
get into college. We're going to wrap it up on college.
We talked about the top 10, and we don't need to go back through that because nothing's changed. But what I want to talk about this week is SEC versus Big Ten, okay?
Yeah.
Currently,
fuck the SEC.
Fuck the SEC, and fuck Paul Feinbaum. But
I was thinking,
the SEC has 9 ranked teams, while Big Ten has 8, but the Big Ten owns number 1 and 2 in the nation, okay?
Yep.
For years, this wasn't much of a debate, and much is a big stretch. There was no debate, okay? The SEC was the standard. Yeah. Now, what I want to ask you is if you had to pick one conference to win the national championship this year, would you take the entire Big Ten or the entire SEC?
Oh, Big Ten in a second.
I agree wholeheartedly because I think that it's interesting because, I mean, we have Ohio State and Oregon at the top. Fuck Ohio State. Fuck Ryan Day. Fuck Julian Sayin. I'm excited for another season of fuck those guys. And I don't mind Oregon. And then Indiana's number 6. So there's 3, right?
Yeah. But, by the way, speaking of the SEC, what else were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say SEC has Georgia. And
they got Georgia. They got, Clemson's a lot of it right now, but they got Georgia. They got a lot of good teams. Alabama. Did you hear about the LSU controversy with Jaden Daniels? A little NFL, CFL crossover?
Fucking stupid, okay?
Stupid. He looks like an idiot.
Yeah, well, you know what's hysterical to me? If this was Joe Burrow saying this, I would get it. I would get it.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow is the best quarterback to ever play for LSU. And
I don't know about ever, but I mean, definitely in a long time.
And he won them a championship.
And won the Heisman.
Right. So that would be different.
Tell everybody who's listening what the controversy was.
It's hysterical. Jaden Daniels filed a lawsuit against LSU for using his namesake and number rights.
No. He believed, or his mother believed, that they were going to retire his number. So they gave it to another player, and he sued the team for that. By the way, your point about Joe Burrow's number not retired. I don't know if they've ever retired a number at LSU. Maybe once. Jaden Daniels certainly not getting retired, so they got pissed about it. They look like idiots.
He looks like an idiot now, 100%. Yeah. But my point is, if Joe Burrow had that problem, LSU would be like, absolutely, Mr. Burrow. You want to take your Batmobile over here and we'll do a trophy ceremony? Bet.
Yeah, that's my point. But you don't retire Joe Burrow. You wouldn't retire Jaden Daniels' number before Joe Burrow.
You're not retiring fucking Jackson Dart's number before you retire Eli Manning's.
Right. Good point. That's basically the analogy.
Jaden Daniels could be great in the NFL. So could Jackson Dart. But right now, what we know is that Eli Manning was a good NFL quarterback, and Joe Burrow was much better at LSU than Jaden Daniels was. So I think
and Jaden Daniels was good in college, don't get me wrong, and he's been very good in the pros. Mm-hmm. Doesn't get his number retired. That's fucking ridiculous.
Well, Eric and I were talking about the Josh Allen stuff again today. He was like, look, we can agree to disagree.
He doesn't like Josh Allen.
No, he does not that he doesn't like Josh Allen. He just thinks that like McDermott got the shit can and that it should have been Josh Allen that got fired instead of McDermott. And I don't think that way at all. Like at all. And he was saying how he thinks.
How many games did Josh Allen carry the team on his back?
I know. We've talked about this. But long story short, I said, all right, so we've agreed to disagree. What do you think about Zay Flowers' new contract? And he was like, dude, that's nuts. And I was like, okay, at least I'm not insane. Like
that's funny.
Because it's nuts. But another thing I want to talk about while we're on
because let's stick on college, right?
Is the CFP changes. So there are some changes to the format.
Tell us what's been changed.
The playoff has adjusted how its automatic bids and seeding works, which is cool. Okay. It's important because college football is still figuring out the right balance between rewarding conference champions, selecting the best team, creating fair seeding, and preserving meaningful regular season games, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, should winning
your conference
automatically guarantee you a playoff advantage?
Right.
So that's what I want to ask.
Not advantage. You mean a playoff bid?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, this is how I used to feel. I used to feel that you look at the top, like, let's say 5 conferences in the country, or 6 conferences in the country, and everything was kind of balanced. You take the 5 of those winners, and if we had, or you take 8 of those winners, 8 conferences, then you got 4 teams left. They're at-large bids that the committee picks, right? Mm-hmm. That would be good. But now there's been so much movement around the Pac-12 is even 12 teams, I don't think.
So this is how
it's like 4 teams.
This is the new rules, okay?
Yeah.
The CFP has reiterated that automatic bids will go to the champions of the Power 4 conferences: Big 10, SEC, ACC, and Big 12. Okay.
Okay.
The CFP's highest ranked team in the group of 6 will also get a spot, whether it's a conference champion or not. Group of 6, you say, ? Yes. The group of 5 is now +1 with the relaunched Pac-12 joining the American Conference USA, Mid-American MAC Conference, Mountain West, and Sun Belt.
So Pac-12's trying to revive itself.
Okay. Then it says
so we would get 2 out of that, 2 out of those 6.
The highest ranked team out of the 6 gets it. And then it says from there.
So that's 5 teams.
Correct. From there, the next 7 highest ranked teams, regardless of conference, will fill out the rest of the 12-team bracket.
The next 7 ranked highest teams. Okay.
Nationally.
Okay, so if a team's 2 in the nation, but they didn't win their conference, they would get in.
More or less, we're not going to see bullshit like Duke in the CFP because of some stupid fucking tiebreaker where Florida State's terrible, Virginia's terrible, or whatever it was. Whoever got in because they shouldn't have.
Virginia, I think, won. If they win the ACC, they get in. Now, if you go back to when Florida State got fucked and they were undefeated and they didn't even get a bid, there was only 4 teams in those days. They would have gotten a bid, right?
Correct.
Wouldn't have fucked up the program. Yeah. Okay.
But I like this system now. I think
that sounds pretty fair.
Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12 are the big conferences. And then the other 6 are Pac-12 American, Conference USA, MAC, Mountain West, and Sun Belt. And then the next 7 highest.
Yeah, so it gives teams like Marshall and those other teams a chance to get into the playoffs.
It says, but Notre Dame,
whatever.
Another tweak to the 12-team CFP bracket. If Notre Dame finishes the season ranked in the top 12 by the CFP, it will automatically secure a playoff berth.
Right, because they would be they would be in the top 7 or whatever. No,
No, that's not necessarily true because there could be an instance where, like, let's say all the ACC teams are terrible this year, right? And Florida State wins, but they have a 8-win season, which would be really unfortunate.
Right, but they're in.
They're in. That means that one of those spots is not part of the top 12, right? So
one of what spots?
One of the predetermined people that automatically get bids are not part of the top 12 ranking.
Why? You said the Power 4 conferences get in the first.
But Dad, what I'm saying is ACC is Power 4. So if the ACC again is bad this year and Virginia or Florida State wins with 9 games,
they get in.
They get in and they won't be in the top 12. On the CFP
I understand that.
So what they're saying is if Notre Dame finishes in the top 12, not
they're in.
The top 7 after those 5, they're in. They automatically get a berth.
Okay.
It says it's a more straightforward approach than last year when Notre Dame fell short of the playoff despite being ranked number 11 by the committee.
Right.
Instead, Tulane and James Madison earned the final 2 spots as 2 of the 5 highest-ranked conference champions. And it says one last thing about the CFP. Discussions will continue over the year whether to expand to 16 or even 24 teams.
Yeah, I think 12 is a good number. But
I like
guess,
12.
I mean, you know what the problem is? And we could talk about this now, I think, before we wrap up for the night. I think NIL is a little out of control. I understand it got started, but they need to set up some guardrails. I mean, it basically college football is becoming pro football, right? You can buy players now.
It's worse than pro football.
They move around. They get trade. They don't even get traded. They just say, "I want to move," and they jump to wherever they want. And it's not like you make deals.
Because if there was no salary cap for the NFL, we would have super teams in certain parts of larger markets. New York Giants would always have a crazy team. So would the Patriots. So
if you have a bigger booster base and you're raising more money, you could buy more players. So there's got to be a cap, I think. There's got to be a limit as to maybe you can move, let's say, 2 or 3 times during your 4-year career, but never more than once during a season.
100%.
So I think they got to work that out. I think there's a big problem in college football right now. I mean, look, even Indiana was criticized, right, for the team that Kirk Cignetti put together, but he did it within the rules. That's what the rules were, and he put together a good group of guys.
But
and they were older guys, but they were still 2- and 3-star players. He got a lot out of them. He was very good at what he did, and he still is. He's going to be a great coach. You take a guy like Nick Saban, Jimmy Johnson, any of these great college coaches from the old days, they wouldn't survive in this. They don't even want to coach in this league. You can't develop players. Urban Meyer, you can't develop players in this. They're gone. You're going to go buy new players this year. And I think it's become a big problem. And I think there was some recent legislation that was passed by Congress that is kind of reeling this in slowly, but I think it's going to have to play out over the next couple of years. We'll see how that goes.
Salary cap. We need maximum amount of moves. I agree, 2 or 3. And I think there also needs to be I don't know. It's hard because look, I'm not complaining, but Indiana, fuck if we need any other endorsements. Mark Cuban pays for the whole motherfucking team.
Pretty much.
And we don't need anything else.
Right.
You know what?
But there's plenty of other colleges that have more money than Indiana, even at this point. So
for sure. I think I told you they approved a $150 million renovation to Memorial Stadium. And it's already beautiful, all the sections that are standing. So what they're probably
it's not
going
big.
to do
now they can sell more seats.
Build up, right?
Corporate boxes up. Yeah.
So
I just hope it doesn't look like Penn State. We were there for the Penn State Indiana game. You saw what it looked like. It was like they put the end zone in, and then this was another box. Like nothing fit together.
Well, I mean,
but you do what you got to do, right?
Yep. Look, the truth of the matter is that it'll be exciting to see how much they expand Memorial Stadium with that amount of money.
Sorry, drop something.
No, you're good. So I'll be interested.
But Cam, if you take a team like Alabama or Georgia or LSU or Clemson, any of these big teams, and you go back to when they were good, how much better would they have been if they were able to spend money on players and get everybody would want to play for Nick Saban. He'd have his choice.
Dad, speaking of Alabama, I saw a video edit the other day, and it said Indiana really ended Alabama's dynasty in 60 minutes. And then they show the interview with Fernando at the end of the game, and he's like, big shout out to Alabama. They're an amazing storied program, but, Indiana, man. And then they show the whole game where we absolutely rocked them. And it's, oh my God, it's amazing. That season will live rent-free in my head for the rest of my life.
I got to say, this is a big test for Mr. Cignetti.
Yes.
Because he came in, had a decent base, had a decent season. Built a bigger base, did unbelievable things, won the national championship with the Heisman Trophy. So now it's like, what have you done for me lately? And we'll see what he does with this new roster of kids.
To me, okay? This is what's interesting.
People want to play for him now.
I think that there are 2 big schools of thought floating around about the Indiana. Well, there's like 3. One of them is fuck Indiana. They're way too old and they shouldn't have won, which is bullshit.
Right.
Because those are the rules. So if you want to complain about that, then there also should be an NIL salary cap and there should be all kinds of other things.
Any team could have done what they did.
Exactly. So fuck that. That's a stupid argument. It's dumb. But what I will say is that, The other schools of thought are, one, Fernando's an absolute fucking stud. And he made Signetti look really good last year. And I mean, we saw Curtis Rourke, not bad. He's in the NFL now as a backup, but like he didn't look like that under Sig, right? There's another school of thought that thinks that Fernando's kind of mid, and it's the Signetti system that made him look the way that he did. And I hope that's not the case, but the only time will tell for both of those things.
I think it's a combination. I think Fernando's a kid who's really smart and really high football IQ, and then he's playing for a coach like Signetti. That's what made him win the Heisman Trophy.
I would agree with that statement. I mean, but
all right.
They're saying Josh Hoover is looking real good, so you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Munch and Sales and all those other guys.
This has been another episode of Big Apple Benches and Bleachers.
Let's wrap it up.
We'll
see you guys next week. Take care of your mom when she comes to visit. You're going to bring her to Ariat and show her the. I was going to
say, remember to support your local Ariat store if you have one.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're very excited. And by the way, Dad, I got you one of these.
Nice. Send it back with Mom.
Look at the snaps on the back. One's red and one's white.
Nice.
They're sick. I saw them, and I'm pretty
They're like a Hoosier hat.
It's supposed to be Alabama. I
understand.
But fuck Bama. We beat the shit out of them. So this is our hat now.
I love it. All right, next week, buddy.
All right. Have a good week, everyone, and we'll see you next week.